It's a high-altitude poker game for high stakes. These 6 poker champions are in a big bucks battle for nearly $500,000 in prize money. But only one can win the war.
The World Poker Tour, big time in Reno, Nevada.
Poker Tour is a series of international poker tournaments featuring some of the biggest games and largest payouts on the planet.
All right!
The Reno Hilton is the last stop on the World Poker Tour and the final chance to win a $25,000 entry into the WPT Championship. 87 poker players from around the world came to the Reno Hilton to hand over $5,000 of their own money in the hopes of making it to the final table. The 6 that made it want the biggest piece of the purse and a shot to go up against the other title holders for millions in prize money at the WPT Championship. The challenge is on. Now, down to the WPT Arena, where poker champion Mike Sexton and Hollywood home game sensation Vince Van Patten call the action.
Hi everyone, welcome to the World Poker Tour. I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten, and we are in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, for the final table of the Reno Hilton World Poker Challenge.
Mike, it is great to be here. This is a beautiful city, Reno, Nevada, land of the cowboy, home of the gambler. It is fantastic. Let's talk about these players. They started out 3 days ago. 87 players plunked down $5,000 each. We're down to 6. Now, what's very exciting about this, $168,000 for first place, but that's not it. They also have that guaranteed seat at the WPT Championship at Bellagio. This is the last chance to get that free seat, so there is a lot at stake here.
Well, you're right, Vince. And all along the tour this year, the winner of each event has gotten that coveted $25,000 entry into the World Poker Tour Championship event. Tonight is going to be the last night to get that entry. We're going to be playing musical chairs to see who gets it. We're down to our final 6 players. Vince, let's meet them.
Okay, the guy that really did well yesterday, Paul McGrill, nicknamed X22. We will explain later what that means. X22 is a mathematical genius. This guy is a math professor, gave it all up to play poker, and he is just clobbering this field. He has about $387,000 worth of chips. This guy is going to be tough.
In second chip position tonight, we have a dentist from Las Vegas, Nevada. His name is Cal Dykes. He's starting out with $127,000 in chips. And Vince, it's going to be interesting to see if the dentist can drill on these guys tonight.
Okay, Mark Edwards is in third place right now. He's got $114,000 worth of chips. He's from the Bay Area. They all know him in the poker circles. He's very feared.
Fourth chip position with $103,000 is Ron Rose. Ron's out of Dayton, Ohio. It's the second final table he's made on the World Poker Tour. The last time he was there, he was the first one out. He wasn't happy with his performance. He's here to redeem himself tonight. Let's see if he can do it.
Okay, and in fifth chip position is Tony Lee from Reno. They all know him. He's another great player. He's got $85,000 worth of chips. By the way, the field here was extraordinarily tough. Every superstar poker player was here. These guys like Tony Lee and Mark Edwards knocked him out. He's got $85,000 worth of chips, and he's a true contender.
And in last chip position today is the all-time winningest tournament player in history, TJ Cloutier out of Dallas, Texas. TJ is a poker legend, and although he's starting today short on chips, he's long on experience. He'll be a man to watch today.
You know what's great? He finally made it. One of the good old boys of poker made the final table. It's going to be a pleasure to watch TJ play.
All right, here we go. We're about to get underway. Hand number 1.
I'm going to need all this room.
Here we go. It's going to be on Tony Lee to act first.
Tony Lee is the popular games manager right here at the Reno Hilton, so he's the local favorite, the crowd favorite.
The great thing about being on the World Poker Tour is we get to see these guys' cards. We get into the minds of these great poker players, and it is a true thrill to see it. And Tony's picked up a big hand, 10 ace offsuit. He's going to raise it, Mike.
Well, many players wouldn't play that hand in first position like that. He's come to play today. He is not sitting back.
TJ's out. Ron Rose is out.
TJ and Ron pass.
Cal Dykes with the 3 deuces out. Paul McGrill now. Mr. X22 has got Queen 9.
Sad but true.
He's not going to play.
And he lays down his hand.
Mark Edwards from the Bay Area is also going to fold it.
He lays it down, and Tony picks up the first pot. Now he's going to be a popular little guy here. Remember, he works at this casino, so just the idea of seeing one of your fellow employees at the final table of this televised championship, it's a thrill for everybody in this whole casino.
He had a nice ace-10, takes a nice pot, but I'll tell you something. To his left, TJ Cloutier. I'm just so excited that this man has made the final 6. It is going to be a pleasure to watch him play today. He is some player.
He's the all-time leading money winner in tournament poker history, and it is the first time that he's made a final table on the World Poker Tour.
I've got enough chips to go around the table 3 times, and then I wouldn't have any chips left. So I got to play a hand pretty soon. But if I double up, I'll be fine.
Today, remember, he's on the short stack now, so he's going to have to get a hold of some chips if he's going to be around long.
Well, if anybody can do it, he can. Here we go, second hand at play. It's going to be on the old cowboy TJ to act first.
TJ Cloutier looks down at 2 sevens.
Yes.
Now he's got a hand here. He's reaching for his chips. He is going to raise this pot.
Here he goes.
Says 14,000.
He comes in for 14,000.
But wait a second, look at this. Ron Rose right next to him has just picked up a pair of aces, a monster hand.
Whoa. This could be tragedy for TJ Cloutier. Let's see what happens.
He's
Ron's
going
moving
all
all in. He's not fussing around. He's grabbed all his chips. He has moved over the top of TJ Cloutier with 2 aces all in.
Helduck's going to fold.
Paul McGrill with deuce queen folds. Now look at this.
Mark Edwards has got a pair of jacks,
In a
Mike.
small blind with 2 jacks, a very big hand himself.
Now, he's got to seriously consider calling this hand.
Now he's seen TJ raise and Ron Rose come over the top, re-raise. But still, 2 jacks is a monster hand.
He's going to fold the
He
hand.
lays that down.
Now, right behind him, Tony Lee's got king, queen of clubs, also a strong hand.
Another big hand.
But he's not going to play.
Choice. I got a pair, so I got
Tony
to play.
passes.
And here goes TJ.
Says don't have
Oh,
much
boy,
choice.
he's in.
Small pair.
You can't really fold him for playing here. He's on a short stack.
Sevens against Ron Rose's 2 aces.
He was hoping he was up against ace-king, but instead he's up against 2 aces, and right now he's about an 80% underdog
Here
to win
comes
this
the flop,
fight.
Mike.
The flop
No, it's not going to help TJ yet.
Flop is 8-5-3. Now TJ's going to have to catch 2 runners to make a straight or catch a 7, or he's going to be out of here already in 6th position.
Ron Rose with the aces in front at this point. Here we go.
An 8 comes off.
No.
TJ Cloutier has to catch 1 of 2 7s, or he is going to be our 6th place finisher just as quick.
Last card.
Boom, he doesn't do it.
He's out of this competition.
Well, it's a devastating blow to him. He's waited all season to make a final table. And right now, he's tied Kazi Lieber for the quickest knockout on the World Poker Tour, out on the 2nd deal.
Oh, man, he is stumbling away. A tough defeat here.
TJ Cloutier, the all-time champion at poker, is gone. He was on the short stack bench. You can't really fault him for putting all his chips in there with 2 7s. The short stack is the guy that's the short chip.
Exactly. That was TJ today.
I knew when I got up this morning, first pair I had to play. So that was that.
So we're going to see you again soon?
Yeah, I'm going right down to the Bellagio.
Good.
A 6th place, he'll pick up $18,000. But I'll tell you, I'd like to see a lot more of TJ Cloutier today.
For those of you that are new to the game, we've got a quick tutorial on how to play Texas Hold'em. The game is No Limit Hold'em, the Cadillac of poker. It's a game that takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. To start, each player is dealt 2 cards face down. Then, 5 community cards, cards everyone can play, are placed face up on the table. Each player combines their 2 hidden down cards with the community cards to make their best 5-card poker hand.
And betting is really what this game is all about. Let me explain. You get your first 2 cards, you make a bet. Then the dealer puts the first 3 community cards on the table. In poker, we call this the flop. They bet again. Then the dealer puts the 4th community card on the table. This is called the turn card. Once again, big round of betting. Then the last card. We call this the river. It's turned up on the table. They make a big last round of betting. Turn your cards over. You see who wins.
They call it No Limit Hold'em because there's no limit on how much a player can bet. At any moment, he can declare that he is all in and push all of his chips into the pot.
Right, and that makes chip position, or how many chips you have, very, very important in this game. All right, the action is going to be on Cal Dykes. He's a dentist. He's got King 5. He's not going to play. Paul McGrill, X22, is not going to play with the 6-3.
Now here's Mark Edwards on the button with that front of that little white hockey puck. That's the best position at the poker table.
Well, he's got an ace. He's got an ace deuce, and he's going to raise it, Mike.
He is.
On the button.
Nice aggressive play here
Look
by
at
Mark
this.
Edwards, raising on the button with ace deuce offsuit.
Tony Lee's got a real pair. He's got a pair of 6s. Sometimes you don't know quite what to do with that hand.
Well, we saw Tony play very aggressively the first hand with ace 10 offsuit. Let's see what he does here with the 2 6s.
This guy works in the casino.
Mark Edwards in favorable position here. He's trying to take advantage of it by raising it.
I'm gonna go
Tony
all
Lee's going all in, Mike. He's doing the right thing here.
He is. What a bold play right here by Tony Lee.
He's taking the cliff dive.
Hey, you got to like this guy's style here. He is going for it here today.
Now look, Ron Rose is behind him, but Ron's got a headache, it looks like, actually. But he's got a deuce 5 in his hand.
Total of 91.
Well, he shouldn't have a headache over this hand. This is an automatic fold.
What's he doing?
Well, last time he made the final table, Vince, he was the first one out. He didn't get much TV time.
I don't think he realizes it's his turn. Okay, finally folds a junk hand, deuce 5. Now we're going back to Mark Edwards, who has ace deuce. He's just been raised.
It's not the kind of hand that you want to be playing when your opponent moves in on you, I can tell you that. And it will cripple him if he would call and lose this pot.
He's not going to call it.
No, he opts to fold. Another nice lay down by Mark Edwards right there. You can't fold a guy for raising on the button with an ace high. And you got to be pretty amazed so far. He has made the correct lay down on every hand so far where he's had a decision to make.
I think what I bring to my play is a discipline to wait, and then counterpunch.
Remember, when you start a tournament, everybody starts with equal chips. In this tournament, they all started with 5,000 in chips. As players get eliminated, people's chips either increase or decrease along the way. What you're saying is an accumulation from all the chips that were in the tournament divided amongst these players based on the amount of pots that they won to get this far.
And it's a big advantage if you have the chips.
Chips are power. The guys that have them can play a lot more pots, can be a lot more aggressive than people that don't. If you have chips, you can just push them around like a mop at that table.
Well, it's going to be on X22, Paul McGrill. He's got 10-7 offsuit. Let's see if he can play this hand or not. No, he's not. Back to Mark Edwards. Now, look, Mark Edwards has picked up another wired pair of threes. And he's going to raise it.
Raise 24.
24,000, he makes it.
He's picked up some powerful hands.
Raised to 24,000 to go. 24,000.
Tony Lee's picked up 5-4 diamond suited connector. He's not going to play
He
it.
folds his hand.
Holy mackerel. Ron Rose, Mr. Luck. He's just got a pair of queens.
I'm all in.
And he's going all in.
Yes, he is.
All in the small blind.
Now, he picked up aces on the second deal to bust T.J. Cloutier. He's picked up 2 queens in a small blind here.
And look at Mark
I didn't want to
Edwards
take Paul's thunder.
just shrugging. This has got to be very frustrating to him.
You guys are
The other
out?
players have passed.
So it's back
back
on
to
me?
Mark.
Now, he had to toss his jacks earlier when Ron made the huge raise.
It's a tough bet, Ron.
It's a tough bet, he says.
Well, it's a big decision for Mark because if he calls and loses this pot, he is history. He will be out of this tournament.
Imagine he threw the jacks away earlier. He had to take that down. Look at him. He's actually looking up to the...
Well, he's looking for guidance up there.
Looks like he's doing a little prayer or something. Seems like he's getting very religious.
This is a critical decision for him. He's looking back up there again.
I love that. I'm going to try that.
Well, it's not time to pray. You start praying when you get your chips in the pot, Vince, not before.
I don't know anymore. This could be a new strategy for me.
Well, it's like we got the dentist on one end of the table here and the priest on the other.
He got the word. He got the answer. He's going to go out.
It was a correct decision on his part there to get rid of that hand.
More action to come from Reno on the World Poker Tour.
We play because poker's not a scratch-off ticket, a half-court jumper, or a knock on wood. It's no game of luck, poker. It's a game of patience and well-timed aggression. We know when we play, a little luck helps. But luck can't explain why final tables have so many familiar faces. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
This is the World Poker Tour here at the Reno Hilton. Poker legend T.J. Cloutier was hoping to teach the other players a lesson. Instead, he got expelled from the game early, but class is still in session for the 5 remaining players.
Welcome back. I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten, and we're watching tremendous play here at the Reno Hilton.
Okay, back to the action. It's going to be on the dentist, Cal Dykes. And Cal's got a deuce 9 of clubs. He can't play that.
Cal passes.
Oh, look at this.
X22, the beautiful mind, has picked up a beautiful hand.
Yes, he has. Big slick.
Quack, quack.
And he says quack, quack, and he's going to raise it.
Now, let me explain to the viewers a little bit what the quack, quack is.
Yeah.
In poker, 2 deuces are called ducks. Now, his nickname, as we know now, is X22, so he raises 2 ducks, which is quack, quack, 22,000.
Mark Edwards got 7-3. He's going out.
And look at Tony Lee. Now, Tony Lee has picked up 2 aces, but look at his demeanor here, Vince. You got to love this.
You talk about a poker face. The Star-Spangled Banner's going off in his head. How to play it. Look at he's doing a little acting. And action, Tony.
I'll tell you. You got to love this.
He's got aces. How to play it.
You know, many people do the Watusi when they get the aces. This is the way you're supposed to play when you get them.
Oh, I love this guy.
He rubs his hands together.
I'm going to go all in.
I'm going to go all in, he says.
Move, Tony.
Oh, I love the way he's done this.
Definitely going all in like he's supposed to. Now, Ron Rose has got a horrible hand.
He's got a 3 deuce offsuit.
He likes to milk these things.
He folds his hand.
Finally. It's back to Paul McGrill, who's got big slick ace-king.
Now, this is a very big hand for Paul. It's going to cost him about another 100,000 or so to call this bet.
Now, he is a math professor. He's a whiz.
Remember, he has a lot of chips. He can afford to gamble some here if he wants to. You never really want to double a player up, but on the other hand, you have a chance to win his chips and take them out, and it's not going to kill you in terms of chip stack.
I might call, 110 I might fold.
You do gamble occasionally in this spot. Let's see if he does. And Paul McGrill is a rambling, gambling type player. He does like to gamble it up some.
What would you do?
Well, I don't see how he can hardly fold this hand. He has nearly 400,000 in chips. It is going to cost him another 100,000 to call this raise. But he's got a big hand.
What should I do? I call.
He's going to call it, Mike.
And he does call.
The math professor's going to call.
Yep, he's in a nice mess right here, though.
Tony Lee stands up.
Paul shows the
2 aces against ace-king, so Tony Lee is a big favorite here.
Here we go with the flop.
Here we go.
Oh, it's not going to help, Paul.
No, flop is 10-4 deuce. Now, what this means is that Paul's going to need to catch 2 kings or a queen and a jack.
It's not going to happen
Now,
yet.
3 comes off. Now, this will give Paul a chance to tie this hand if a 5 comes off.
Right,
They'll
good
both
luck.
make a wheel, a 5-high straight.
Last card.
He doesn't do it. A 6 comes off.
Oh, man, the crowd's going crazy for their guy, Tony Lee.
I love the way he played that hand, Vince. And, Vince, this is a good lesson for our viewers out there. When you pick up a big hand like he did, don't light up like a Christmas tree. Remember how Tony Lee acted when he held these 2 aces? Do it just like he did.
This time it's going to be right back to Paul McGrill to act first. Paul taking a little hit there, looks a little more concerned.
Wasn't just a light hit, but he's still a big chip leader with about 300,000 in chips.
And look at this, he's got King 6 offsuit.
I'll try again.
Now, Vince, it looks to me like he's steaming a little bit from losing that last pot with ace-king.
You're right, he's going to raise this.
Quack.
Now, quack, quack is 22,000. He comes right in, raising in first position with King 6 offsuit.
But this might be the wrong time to do it because right next to him, Mark Edwards has picked up a pair of queens.
And he doesn't waste any time.
He's going all in.
Well, he's got 43,000 left. He just bangs it in the table.
Oh, man.
He's got a total of
Tony Lee's got ace-jack. He's got a pretty decent hand here.
Well, it's not such a good hand when it's been raised and re-raised in front of you. It's easy to get away from ace-jack, I think.
Certainly, I can't believe Paul McGrill's steaming here. Little does he know what he's up against with the queens with Mark. Now, Tony Lee's thinking about this. He's not going to call it.
He's going to fold his hand.
Now, Ron Rose has got Queen 10 of clubs, Mike.
Well, I can't see him calling a raise and a re-raise here either with that hand.
Well, that's a pretty interesting hand, too. I can't believe the big hands we're seeing so far in this tournament. He's not going to call it.
No, he folds his hand.
And it's up to Paul again.
More to Paul.
Call.
He's calling 20,000.
This is going to be a test. We're going to see whether Andy Warhol was right. I
Let's
got
see your
more
cards,
than 15
please.
minutes.
We have pocket queens for Mark, 2 queens.
Well, they're turning over the cards, and Paul does not like it. He doesn't even want to show his cards.
Well, he has an overcard. He has the king, so it's King 6 against 2 queens. Mark Edwards is a nice favorite here to win this pot.
I didn't really want to go up against two. Bad enough going up against one.
Let's see what happens.
Mark doesn't want to see a king.
Oh,
out
he
there.
does get
Mark
lucky. It
comes
comes ace, king, four.
So
Look at
Paul
Mark's
has the
grimace
best
there.
hand. Mark's
Oh,
gonna
I
need
don't
to help
blame him.
him.
Oh,
X22 almost embarrassed to hit that card.
It's a
Now that
10.
card
Now
gives Mark a
is
straight
gonna need
possibility. He
to
needs
catch
a
it.
queen or a
Last
jack
tournament, last
to stay in
time.
this competition.
Let's see if it happens.
It's
He
a
doesn't do
7,
it.
So Mark
Mark Edwards, our fifth place finisher.
Have a big round of applause
Very
for
unfortunate to lose with the two queens there against the steamer on that hand, Paul McGrill.
That is a sickening beat. You got your queens, you play them right, and you get some steamer, like you said. Mark Edwards is going to be our fifth place finisher. He's going to pick up $23,000 for his efforts. He walks back into the darkness of the casino, and we are going to rock on with 4 players now. You got to play even a little looser. If you have a lot of chips, it's easy to do that. You can run over the other opponents.
No question about it. Chips are power, and you're going to see it right here.
It's going to be on Cal Dykes, the dentist, to act first. He's been very quiet. He's got 8-5. He's not going to call. And it's on Mr. Rubber Room himself. Now, this time he's got 9-7. He's much happier this time.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack, he says again. Well, in the meantime, Tony Lee's got ace-5 of clubs. Now, what's he going to do with it? That's a pretty good hand, too.
Well, now these are the 2 chip leaders of this tournament now.
I'm going to make it 54.
He is re-raising.
Yes, he is.
He has come over the top of the quacker.
Tony Lee
He
says
must have
make it
sensed something from the
54,000.
quacker.
What a nice play right here by Tony Lee with ace-5 of clubs to come over the
So
top.
that's a $32,000
Now, Ron's
raise.
going out. It's just going to be between the quacker and Tony Lee here.
Now, Paul was just making a position raise on the button with a 9-7 offsuit. Does he want to gamble another $32,000 more?
Well, he slopped around last time, and it paid off for him. He got lucky. Can he do it again?
He's in position. He's got chips. Do you want to put another $32,000 in and get involved in this pot? Against the next chip leader? That's the question.
X22 at work. Cards flashing in his head.
He's in a dilemma when a man moves over the top of you.
He's not going to call.
And he folds. Now, that's a nice laydown by him because he likes to gamble.
All folds.
Tony Lee, hometown guy. Nice play, Mike.
What a nice re-raise with ace-5 of clubs by Tony Lee right there. You got to love the way this guy's playing today, man.
No, ace-5 of clubs, certainly no cinch. He might have picked up something on X22.
Nice play by Tony Lee. He's sending a little message out there to X22, I think.
Well, Paul looks a little disappointed, but he's got to pick himself up. It's on him again. This time he's got King
Paul's
3
first
off
attack,
suit,
he passes.
and he's going to go away this time.
He's going to take a little rest here.
Tony Lee's got a King Queen. That's a solid hand.
He's in position on the button, and he
6,000.
just calls. Now, he limps in on the button with King Queen. Now, that's a little strange.
Ron Rose has got ace-5.
And Ron calls 3,000.
And Ron calls all the small blind, and, of course, Cal with the 8-deuce offsuit knocks the table. We're going to have a 3-handed pot.
Now, Cal's already got his money in, so he's going to call this. Let's see the flop.
Flop comes
Flop is 10-9 deuce.
with 2
No
spades.
help for Ron.
checks.
Ron's going to check.
Now, Cal's made the bottom pair. He checks.
He's going to check.
And now it's up to Tony Lee. Now, Tony Lee has a king-queen, which means he has an inside straight draw. Jack would make him a straight. He's in position. Both his opponents have checked. He can take a free card off here to try to make it straight for nothing, but no.
20,000.
He is betting here $20,000.
Tony
A
bets
very nice
20,000.
bet.
That's a nice, strong bet.
Now, Ron only has ace-high. He folds. The dentist with the bottom pair folds. And give Tony Lee credit there. He didn't take the free card. He bet there. Tony Lee is on a roll. The crowd loves it. He is the crowd favorite. Make no mistake about that.
The key of the game is patience. I'm low, but win couple hands. I've been contention and I may win again.
It's going to be on Ron Rose.
Action is on Ron.
He's got a 9-deuce offsuit. He's not going to play.
He folds his hand.
Dentist, of course, is not going to play. 4-6.
Paul calls
X22 with a 9-7 is going to call, Mike.
Tony
Now look at this.
checks.
Tony has a pair of fours. Didn't raise it. Here we go with the flop.
The flop is Jack 6-3.
Quack, quack.
Look at Paul McGrill leading right out with a 9-7 offsuit. Stone bluffing here.
He does that quack, quack, and makes a strong bet. Tony's got a pair of fours.
Good quack, quack. Take it.
Good quack, quack, he says.
Well, take the pot.
He shows
Now,
9,
Paul,
7,
look at this. Got to love this. He showed the bluff. Didn't have to show that hand.
Well, everyone knows he bluffs a lot, so he doesn't need to show his bluffs. He does have a little rogue in him, there's no doubt about that.
I see what I look like to good players playing at the table. What my appearance is, what they think I'm doing, you know, and then I screw them up.
By the way, Mike, why? It's time for us to explain to the audience why they nicknamed him X22.
Well, he wrote the book on backgammon, called Backgammon, and in his research for that book, long before the computers came out, he played a tournament against himself. He had 64 players in this tournament. They were numbered X1 to X64. Well, X22 happened to win that tournament, and his handle from then on has now been X22.
You know, this guy, I don't know whether to call him a genius or put him in a rubber room. I mean...
Well, you're now looking at that airplane that belongs to Baron Hilton up there. And before this day's over, it's going to be dropping bombs on some of these guys.
Okay, well, it's going to be on the dentist, Cal. And look, he's got ace-queen, and he's going to roll it all in. He's pulling the ripcord here, Mike.
Well, the dentist pulls out his drill for the first time today here, Vince, and
Yes,
he moves
he
all
does.
in. He's got a nice hand, ace-queen.
Paul's not going away yet. You'd think he would.
$67,000 is the total. All in bet for Cal Dykes.
Paul likes to call everything.
You bet the whole thing?
It's like a triple quack plus one.
He says
Put that in your
triple
quack and smoke
plus
it.
one.
It's the one that got me.
Okay.
He's not going to call with a
He's
queen
not
six
going to call.
offsuit.
He's going out. Tony's going out.
And Ron with a 10-9. I can't imagine him calling an all-in bet with that. No, he pushes the pot over.
Nice, strong play by the dentist. He's going to win this pot.
Well, it's the first time we've seen the dentist come into play, and it was for all his money.
Stay with us. We'll be right back on the World Poker Tour.
We're at the Reno Hilton Casino for the World Poker Challenge on the World Poker Tour. It's an exciting tournament so far. Longtime pro TJ Cloutier and private investor Mark Edwards found no favor in the flop and were eliminated. Tony Lee butts heads with the boisterous Paul McGrill, while Cal the Dentist Dykes and retired businessman Ron Rose work on building up their chips.
Welcome back. Let's get back to the table.
It's going to be on X22. Paul McGrill once again. He's got queen six this time. He's not going to call. Now on Tony, who's picked up 10-7 of diamonds. Okay, Tony is going to call.
Tony's called.
Ron Rose has got a 2-king.
Ron calls from the small blind.
So we have a three-way pot here, Vince.
I feel left out.
Here comes the flop.
Ace 10-8.
10-8 with two hearts.
And look at this. Ron's coming out, and he's going to bet his...
On a stone bluff, Ron Rose leading out into two players in this pot.
And the dentist is gone. Now Tony's got a pair of 10 he's got to beat. But he's going to go away. He's not going to call it.
And Tony's 6,000.
Nice bet right there by Ron Rose.
Now, I thought he only played aces and queens, but I'm seeing something else here.
Ron is starting to gain a little confidence, and if he gains some confidence, he's going to be a big force to be reckoned with here today.
Ron Rose is exuding confidence here in his second WPT final table.
Well, he's off to a good start today, that's for sure.
You're playing to win, first place. Nobody remembers who second is.
He's in good shape. He's got off to a pretty good start today. I think he's happy where he's at so far.
Now, one guy that's got to be happy is Tony Lee, and he looks at his hand. He's got an 8 jack. He's not going to call.
Tony passes.
Big Ron Rose looking at deuce 9 offsuit.
Ron folds.
Also
Throws
not going
his
to
hand
call.
away.
Now the dentist has ace 5, and look at this. He's going all in. Mr. Wilson's doing it again.
Well, Mr. Wilson's only got one move here, looks like. The throttle goes all the way to the floor when he comes into a pot. He has moved all in.
X22's got a king 6 of diamonds. He's considering this.
King 6 of diamonds. He says count it down here.
72,000.
I just did this trick a second ago against him with a king 6, but I'm going to fold. This time I'm going to fold my king 6.
He's
going to fold the king 6 this time around.
And look at the dentist like bragging that he had an ace, trying to make them think that he had aces. We, of course, know he does not.
He shows them a card. He can operate on them a little bit too, you know.
Yeah, he's going to make the gums bleed here.
I'm going to play to win it. Not just flat out. That's what I'm going to do. If I get knocked out, I get knocked out, and nothing to do about that.
Okay, we're down to 4 players. Fast action here. The Reno Hilton in Reno, Nevada. Okay, it's back on Ron. He's not going to call. On the dentist, he has King 7. He's playing tight. He's not going to call. X22 looks at his hand.
All the way back to Paul in small
And he's just going to call with it. And Tony Lee with a 4-5 is going to call. We're going to see a flop. Here it is.
Flop is 3 deuce deuce, nits and nats.
Look at this. Tony Lee's made it open-ended straight, and he's going to bet on the come. He doesn't have a cinch hand at this point, of course.
Well, he bets an open-end straight draw here. I like this bet by Tony Lee.
X22 looking a little baffled.
He didn't raise before the flop, so he doesn't put him on a pair. So that's why it's a nice bet by Tony Lee to lead out on this flop. He's grimacing over there.
You know, he's an amazing poker player, but you can't tell me that he has a poker face.
He throws his hand away. I love that bet by Tony Lee right there with the 4-5.
Yeah.
Nice play to pick up that pot.
Well, we are getting close to filling that last seat at the big one, the WPT Championship at Bellagio.
Well, you're right, Vance, and we're going to have all these great players from this past season in one tournament with millions at stake. And Shauna Hyatt is going to take a look at this past season and tell us what we can expect from the biggest poker event of the year.
It's only appropriate that here on the world's largest stage, we set the scene for the upcoming WPT Championship, a poker event so big that even this place couldn't hold it. The season began at the luxurious Bellagio Casino in Las Vegas, where backgammon pro Gus Hansen took home the cash in the inaugural WPT event. It was Hansen's first final table, but later in LA, he proved it wasn't his last.
Somebody has to win.
At the Bicycle Club, Chris Karagulian was clairvoyant.
I'm one of the best. I'm going to win.
And outlasted one of the wildest tables of the year.
He made a full house.
Chris has won the tournament.
In Aruba, an amateur from Finland, Juha Helppi, steamrolled pro Phil Gordon.
This guy's an amateur?
In Costa Rica, Jose Rosenkrantz went from last to first.
Jose knows he's done it. What a great moment for Jose Rosenkrantz.
Paul Darden laid down the law in San Francisco.
I want all the chips. I want you out.
Chess master Howard Lederer proved he was king twice, once in Connecticut and once in the Caribbean. A not-so-proper Englishman won in Mississippi, a Swede notched a victory in Paris, and for one night, the dangerous Lane Flack was Hollywood's biggest star. The WPT winners earned their $25,000 entry to the championship table. But take a look at these players who dug deep into their pockets to put up the cash for a seat and a shot at the title. Phil Ivey, Andy Block, Jennifer Harmon, Phil Hellmuth, Scotty Wynn, and TJ Cloutier, just to name a few. We've got the greatest players, the biggest buy-in, champions at every seat, and the stakes can't get any higher. This is going to be huge.
No. I just can't wait.
You put those guys in the room together. I don't want to be there. Dentist has a 3-6. He's not going to play. X22 Paul McGrill is in pair of 9s this time.
Quack, quack.
And he's doing that quack, quack thing again.
He loves that raise amount. I want to be interested to see when the blinds and antes go up to the next level if he's still going to bet the quack, quack. He's going to have to double his quacks, I think. 22,000 won't be enough to get anybody out the next round.
Tony Lee with a 4-5 again. This time he's not going to call it.
Now this time Ron Roses looks down and finds 2 10s. He has a hand here.
Oh, he's got to love this.
Now Paul McGrill has raised the pot in front of him. He's looking at 2 10s.
He got 2 10s against 2 9s, Mike.
Remember now, Ron is what we call it in the big blind. He has the most money in the pot before the flop. That means this quack quack bet is 22,000, going to cost Ron another 16,000 to call. Well, I'm certain he's going to play the pot. He's not going to lay down 2 10s. He's in position with it. Just a matter if he's going to call or raise.
Look at X22. He's doing like monkey see, monkey do routine.
Well, I'm afraid Ron might make a monkey out of him if he plays this pot because it'll be 2 10s against 2 9s.
I raised $75,000.
Look at this. He's going to raise it up. I think he's going up $75,000.
Whoa, that's a big bet. He's bet $97,000 now.
So he's called a 22.
And that just slapped Paul McGrill in the face.
Well, I can tell you right now, Paul is faced to the test here because Ron essentially bet half his chips. So what that means is Paul should now know that he's going to be committed to play this pot if indeed he decides to move over the top of him, because Ron will be getting about 3-1 on his money.
Two great mathematicians going at it. You could just see the numbers flipping around in Paul's head.
I think they got the quacker's tongue a little bit. Paul has a nice hand here.
Sure does.
But it's shrunk up a little bit when a man moves over the top of you.
He's going all in.
He has gone all in right here.
Pushing it all in. He's pulled the ripcord.
Whoa, he has put Ron Rose to the test.
Fascinating poker here.
Well, Ron's got about 90,000 left.
He's going to call it.
And he's called it. He's done it. Ron Rose has done it, and he's going to love it when he sees what Paul has. But keep your eye on Paul's face. When Ron turns up his hand, he is not going to like it. It's 2 10s for Ron, 2 9s for X22. Right now, Ron Rose is a big favorite to win this pot.
Oh, man, Paul, this could be a devastating defeat for Paul.
Ron's counting out his chips, and it's a huge amount, about 183,000.
Okay, well, they turn it over. Ron loves it. He gets up, walks away. He knows he's the huge favorite now.
And look at the look on Paul's face. He is really disgruntled right now.
Ron is up on his feet. He's just pacing. He loves this.
He's doing laps.
Ron has the best of it.
Okay.
It's 2 10s versus 2 9s. Paul knows he's in trouble here.
Here we go with the flop. Can X22 get lucky?
The flop is...
He does! He's hit 3 of a kind, 3 9s at this point.
On the other hand, Ron Rose has flopped an open-end straight draw.
That's right.
So he can win the pot with a 7, a 10, or a queen. He does have a lot of outs.
A lot of outs here, and we're going to take a little break. We'll be coming right back from Reno, Nevada on the World Poker Tour. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We are in Reno, Nevada. We have 2 poker players that have been mixing it up. An amazing flop, Mike.
Well, we have our biggest pot of the day, Vince. Ron Rose is all in. He has gotten out-flopped by X22,
yes, he
who
has.
flopped 3 9s, but Ron Rose is not dead. He's got an open-end straight draw. Let's see what happens.
Lots of outs. Here comes the turn.
An ace comes off.
And that's a heart, too.
Now, this also gives Ron Rose a heart draw, so he does have a lot of outs in this pot. A heart, a queen, a 10, or a 7 will win this pot for Ron Rose. But right now, Paul McGrill is out front with the 3 9s.
Last card coming up.
The 7 of spades.
A 7 has come off.
Unbelievable.
Ron knows he made the straight. He has won this pot. He is ecstatic right now.
Oh, man, the arms going up above. This is quite a defeat.
Well, look at hands on hips. Paul McGrill is shell-shocked here, Vince.
Look at that look of disgust.
There's a hand, folks, that you go from ecstasy to total depression, back to ecstasy, all in the same hand. On the World Poker Tour, you see everything. He was ecstatic to see he had 10s against 9. He was heartbroken when he got out-flopped. He was delighted when he outdrew his opponent at the river. What an exciting hand that was. Ron is feeling good right now. He knows he got lucky at the river there.
Now, X22 is not eliminated. He still has a few chips left. Not a whole lot, though, and that is a devastating blow. Let's not forget they're playing for huge stakes here. It's going to be on Ron Rose now, first to act. And Ron's got ace-4.
And he lays it down.
Yes, he does. Dentist has got 4-3. He's not going to play.
Pass from Ron and Cal. It's back to the small blind.
Now, Paul McGrill has a jack-10 of hearts, a nice little hand. He's going to raise it.
Why not? That's considered by many to be an extremely powerful hand in Hold'em poker.
Raise 222.
He's betting 22,000. He's quacking again there.
He did it again. He did the quack thing.
Total bet 22,000.
You know, did Groucho Marx used to do that? Something like that.
Meantime, Tony has a nice hand here. He's got ace-queen. How is he going to play this hand now?
He's got a dilemma here.
Well, his dilemma is he going to call this hand in position or re-raise?
The funny thing is, he's saying at this hand, he's going, wait a second, I don't need to be pushed around here so much. He wants to call. The instinct is, I want to call.
Got me 18 more, 16.
And look at this.
He is calling.
He is going to call.
Okay, we got to see another flop. That's good.
He just calls. He opts not to re-raise here. Be interesting to see how this plays out.
Here comes the flop, Mike.
Flop is king,
Queen, deuce. Now, this gives Paul McGrill an open-end straight draw.
But Tony's got second top pair of queens with an ace kicker.
He has second pair with top kicker, an ace kicker here. And look at this.
Uh-oh.
Triple quack quack.
What was that?
Triple quack quack. That's 66,000 he's betting. That's a big bet.
Triple quack quack.
And Tony leans back in his chair. Now he is really faced with a decision here. 66,000. That's a big bet right here.
I admire the guts of this guy. Triple quack quack, he says. On the come. 4 to the straight. Can he push the man with the second top pair out of this pot?
And now there's Tony Lee sitting back on his haunches here, faced with another decision. One more time, his opponent is let out and bet him on the flop again.
I'll call.
He's calling.
Yes.
He is calling here. Now, Vince, in my mind, if he's going to call here, he should just go ahead and put all his chips in the pot. He should set the man all in right here. If you're going to play this hand.
Tony is called.
Okay. Fourth street coming up. We call this a turn in poker. And here it comes.
Turn card is the 9
Oh, it's turned into gin right here.
Miracle
for Paul
card.
McGrill.
X22. He's hit the straight.
He has the best hand possible. A jack and a 10 giving him a king high straight. Now let's see how he plays it.
All in.
He's got about 60,000 left. He's putting them all in right here.
Yes, he does.
He's not fussing around. And now Tony's faced with another decision now. Does he want to call another 60,000 on the second pair here?
Once again, the board is king.
We know he's drawing completely dead here, which means there's no card that can come up for him to win this pot.
But he's so invested already, it's almost worth the call down in case X22 is still bluffing.
Well, this in my mind, see, he should have eliminated this decision by setting him all in before.
Okay.
Well,
he is going to call him.
That's right.
He's not going to like it. Tony Lee is going to lose this pot to Paul McGrill. Paul McGrill hit a nice card on the turn there, giving him the nut straight. He is going to win this pot.
Tony's got an ace.
Look at Tony's look on his face when he sees this. Oh,
yeah.
man.
He knows he's dead, and Paul knows he's won this pot.
Oh, boy.
If you want to win this pot, please turn off the last
So they're going to
card
turn off the
here.
last card, but it's irrelevant.
It's the 5
X22 is going to double up right here. That was a very nice pot. 298,000 in that pot, Vince.
If I put more in, he's going to call anyway.
Well, he got a little unlucky last hand, but now he gets lucky with the straight, and he's standing up. He's one happy camper. The math genius, the professor, has done it here. He's won a huge pot.
When you play with this man, sooner or later, he's crying foul.
Quack quack. Quack quack. Triple quack quack.
Paul McGrill, also known as X22, has a style all his own.
I want people to react to me. I don't want to have to react to them. If I can get them reacting to me, then I've gained a lot. I like to appear thoughtless and crazy and mindlessly aggressive by acting manic and quack quack and all this business. That's why I make it hard for even the top players to play against me, because I'm very aware of what I look like I'm doing, and then I try and go the other way.
Paul's not difficult to read. You may think that. He's just going to be trying to bully us around and push us around with his chips.
Paul may think his decoy calling card helps him lure chips to his side of the table, and maybe it does.
Quack quack.
He came into this game with the most chips, and the other players know that's no accident.
He's a very intelligent person there at the table.
Paul McGrill is super aggressive, and he doesn't have to have too many good cards to be aggressive with. So he's not afraid to take the worst of it, so that makes him very, very, very dangerous.
Paul McGrill may come across as the friendly, goofy player at the table, but in order to win all the money, X22 will do whatever it takes.
I want to keep on pounding away, and that's when my biggest edge is, when I have a big stack and I can actually steal a lot of money and also get paid off in the big hands because I have the power to push people around.
All these guys playing great poker this afternoon. Okay, it's going to be on Tony first. And Tony this time has 5-6, not very interesting. And he's going away. Ron Rose with a 6 jack of diamonds.
And he throws it away on the button.
And look at this, the dentist has picked up 2 5s.
There goes your man, Mr. Wilson. He's moving all in.
He is going all in. Got that one move, and it's been great so far. Let's see if it works again. And the only one he's got to beat here is Paul, X22, who has a 7-6 in his hand.
One thing about it, you need Novocaine when you play against the dentist here, because all he does is move all in. It's the only play he makes, Vince.
That's very true. We've seen him do this time and time again. I still can't get over his hat. I love his hat. And he's going to take it again.
No call.
Is that a relief?
No,
I wanted
one of those chips, baby. You made a good laydown. Maybe.
He does take the pot down, and the dentist operates on him one more time. Well, that play works every time but once, the all-in play.
Well, I guess he's hoping that at that one time, he really has a big hand. He'll catch somebody else with another big hand.
Okay, the action's going to be on Ron Rose here, the next pot.
Ron looks at his hands. Now look at this. He's picked up ladies, 2 queens, a very strong hand, obviously.
Big hand by Ron right here. He comes out and bets $24,000.
Cal, the dentist, is going out. X22 is going to call with 5 king.
He calls this time with king 5 of clubs. I mean, he is trying to get back and beat Ron a pot.
He'll be back on Tony Lee right now.
Now, he has the big blind in there, remember, for 8,000.
Now, Tony's got king jack offsuit. You wouldn't think he's going to call us, but you never know.
Well, he's the last person to act, meaning nobody can play behind him, so he's just calling. So we're going to have a 3-way pot here.
Yes, we are.
And a nice pot it is.
3-way raised pot, 24,000 apiece.
X22 saying first time today. These guys loving the competition here today. Here, we're going to see the flop.
3-way action and a raised pot. Here comes the flop.
The flop comes 7-6-4.
7-6-4.
Now the queens are out in front, obviously, with Ron Rose. But
now, Paul McGrill has flopped an open-in straight draw.
Yes, he has.
Oh, neat.
He has a 5 in his hand.
I was waiting for
X22 pretending like he didn't know it was up to him, but it's definitely up to him. I think he was just stalling a little bit.
Quack, quack.
It says 66.
And he's betting right out.
He's bet $66,000.
Now, Tony Lee certainly can't call. He's just got king jack.
Tony passes.
It's on Ron now. What would you do, folks?
Ron says, I'm all in.
And he's
Ron's
going
all in. Now, Ron has 2 black queens.
And he's getting up like he has to go to the restroom. Look at him. Up again, out of the chair. And he's put the test to X22.
This is a major, major, major pot in this tournament right here. And Paul McGrill knows it. 120,000 is all he has left.
The thing is, he would love to call this. You have an open-ended straight, but it's such a big raise.
And an overcard he has a king, remember? Of course, he doesn't know it. He has the king 5 of clubs. That means he has to be afraid of a heart draw a little bit.
Right.
He's got to be afraid of the big pair. He's got to be fair of a lot of things. Right now, he's just on a total draw.
Well, Ron is making this math professor think. Boy, he looks like he's strained from all this thinking today.
Well, I can tell you, this guy's not a rose to him. He's a thorn in his side. I can tell you that right now. Every time he's bet lately, Ron Rose has come over for all his chips.
Ron Rose got to love this now. He must realize because of the hesitation, he's in front with the pair of queens.
You believe he's thinking about gambling this hand? For all his money. I mean, if he loses his pot, he's out of this tournament.
Well, he gambled before when he had that open-ended straight. He bet, and then he called. He does like to gamble.
Ron Rose is just not afraid to come over the top of him. He's done it continually today. Give Ron Rose credit for the way he's played this guy. He hasn't let him take command. He has come over the top and playing super poker against this guy and wins this pot.
He's done it, Mike.
He's got him to lay it down again.
A big pot and a big move by Ron.
He's going to start a trend here. Every time a guy moves over the top, he's going to get up and walk around like he's in a parade or something.
Well, he's sticking to it. It's been working so far.
Very nice play right there by Ron Rose. He picks up another nice pot and increases his lead, Vince.
Oh, man, I'll tell you something. The action never stops here on the World Poker Tour, and we will be right back from the Reno Hilton.
You know, if you had curtains, you could probably cover the window.
Is up 6%. And if you turn to the 4th page of your book...
AbsolutePoker.com. You in?
Here at the Reno Hilton World Poker Challenge, X22 Paul McGrill took a big hit when Ron Rose pulled a straight on the river. Cal Dykes has been relying on one move, and so far, it's working. And hometown favorite Tony Lee waits to make his move. Now, back to the action with Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten.
So Mike, Cal Dykes, the dentist from Las Vegas, it's going to be on him right now. Cal, once again, he's got king 4 this time. Let's see what he does. He's going to go out. Paul McGrill, X22, he's got A7. He's doing the quacking thing again.
Raising on the button again. Ace high, 22,000 he bets.
Tony Lee's going out with a Jack 7.
Now Ron Rose with a 7-6, a 76 trombones he's got here.
Suited connector, we call that in poker.
And he's going to call.
Yes,
we're going to have a flop here.
So he likes to play creative hands, try to get lucky with the flop.
Well, he's going to see if the trombone man will come in for him here.
A7 against 7-6. Here's the flop.
9-7.
Now look at this. It's big for Paul. He's flopped 2 pair.
And Ron has flopped bottom pair.
X22 is going to go all in with this hand, and Ron's quickly going to go out.
Paul went all in, shows us Ace-7.
Whoa, now look at this.
Yeah.
He showed an Ace-7. He had the top and bottom pair. He flopped 2 pair.
Wow.
He moved all in, and then he showed it.
Well, there was definitely no subtlety to that. X22 looks like he's been dragged from a horse today. He has been dragged, pulled, torn, poked, prodded, up and down.
You know, this guy is fun to watch play poker, though, Vince. You got to admit that. I know you love this guy.
This is painful. Come on. And he's the only one at the table that's going through this torture chamber. Everybody else looks very relaxed. Okay, it's going to be on Ron. He's got 4 queen. He's going to go out. And now the dentist. Cal Dykes has A7.
There he goes. His only move again.
X22. He's going to go out.
Well, again, nobody picks up a hand. Paul had deuce 8. Tony's got 6 jack. The dentist picks up another pot.
Well, not yet. Still on Tony there. You're right. He's going to take the pot.
And so far, Vince, nobody has seen a hand of his yet today.
That's true.
But in fairness, not one person has picked up a hand against him yet. Eventually, somebody's going to play with him. But for his play to work, he's got to raise this pot just to stay even. 1 time out of 4, he's got to make that play.
All right. It's going to be on Ron Rose to participate first. He looks at his cards. He's been selective today. He's got an 8-king this time.
Well, Ron's a commanding chip leader right now. He's not going to gamble that hand. He's going to be tough to beat today with all those chips he's got.
He's going out. Mr. Wilson's going out now, and on X22. The lane is open. What do you do?
He's just limping in. He's trying to see a cheap flop here.
Now Tony Lee's got King 3.
King 3 offsuit. And look at this. Tony Lee is moving all in with a King 3 offsuit, a bold play. He actually thinks the king high is the best hand, and in fact, it is the best hand.
Well, I got newfound respect for this man. What a strong move he's making here. I don't know whether you can seriously say he thinks he has the best hand. I think he's just making a nice, solid bluff here.
I'll tell you the truth. I love the way he's playing. He absolutely does not think it. He thinks if X22 had ace high or a pair, he would have raised before the flop. He didn't do so.
That's true. Well, X22 looking even more desperate right now.
He folds his hand. That's a nice play by Tony Lee right there to pick up that pot.
Oh, how do you do this? I mean, this guy has a day job. You know, he works as a supervising the casino. How do you also play world-class poker when you have that kind of job?
If anyone has a home table advantage, it's Tony Lee. Tony works here at the Reno Hilton as a game supervisor, but today he's in the middle of all the action. When you watch him play, you'll see that Tony Lee likes to lie low.
When I play, I'm thinking a lot and how to play, and I watch them how to play, and I don't talk much while I'm playing.
Tony's play is very steady, and he plays a very good game. You'll see him not make a lot of moves, but when he does make a move, he usually has the goods. So I just have to be careful what he's doing, and I better have a good hand when he's in.
Tony's sweet smile and calm disposition reflects his sure and steady pace throughout the tournament.
The key of the game is patience, but I do need some hand. I'm patient enough to get a hand.
But just because Tony's polite and patient, it doesn't make him a pushover.
If they play aggressive, then I can adjust that and I can place against them. When I play poker, I want to win.
There it is. Oh, yeah. I'm still alive.
He will stay alive in this one.
You have to admire the way this kid has played. He's got a shot to win this tournament. Anybody can do it. And this kid is a talented little player, believe me.
Okay, we're back to action. It's on the dentist, Cal Dykes. He's got a 6-3. He's not going to call. X22 looks at his hand. He's got 7-5 of diamonds.
But notice he stopped raising them so much. He's calling here, trying to see a flop.
Tony Lee's got 8-4 offsuit. He's going to bluff this one.
No, he's trying to call it. He's trying to see a flop with an 8-4 offsuit himself.
Now Ron Rose has picked up King Jack of heart. Is he just going to settle for a call?
No, he's not. He's raising them. He sensed weakness. He sensed they were trying to get in there to see a cheap flop. Very nice raise here by Ron Rose. There's no way they're going to be able to call it with these hands they have.
He's got a quality hand, King Jack of heart. He's going to try to push them out before the flop.
7-5 folds and the 4-8 folds, and Ron Rose picks up the pot.
Nice pickup by Ron Rose.
That's tournament experience, Vince, right there. He sensed weakness on their part. He came back over the top with the King Jack and picked up the pot.
Look at that, Mike. Now that is just another great play. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Well, it was a great one, and there's more great play to come. Stay tuned for more exciting poker action from the Reno Hilton on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back. The tournament started off with the quick dismissal of TJ Cloutier. Mark Edwards was next to go. And now, the stacks have shifted from Paul McGrill to Ron Rose. Cal Dykes and Tony Lee are patient in their play, but they better act quick because time is running out. With hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line, a WPT title, and the last seat at the World Poker Tour Championship at stake, some players still stay cool, calm, and collected. Others, however, are chomping at the bit.
Well, Ron is playing wonderfully today, but it's going to be on Tony Lee to start the action here. He looks at his cards. He's got 2 Queen of Hearts. Suited up. He's not going to play it. Mr. Dayton, Ohio himself is going to go out with 5-8 of diamonds. And look at this.
Here we go again, all in for Cal.
Oh, man, we have seen this. Deja vu.
Give him credit. He's consistent.
He's got ace-8 offsuit.
He's got one move, and so far nobody has played with him yet.
He's got one move, but it's a brilliant move.
Paul McGrill looks at Queen 9 offsuit. Can be hard to call an all-in bet with that. He doesn't do it. And the doctor operates again, Vince.
He's done it again. Look at him. Power poker from Cal Dykes, the dentist.
It's amazing nobody's seen one of his hands yet today, Vince.
That's very true. He's actually become the phantom player. When he pushes it, you don't see his cards. Here we go, back in the action. It's on Ron Rose. Now Ron's got a 6-4 offsuit. He's going out. Cal, the dentist, has done it again. He's got a pair of 9s. X22's out.
Well, just the pedal to the metal. They should just put a button in front of him where he just pushes it. All in. All in.
Tony Lee's out. He's going to take this pot again.
This time they all fold him before he could even push his chips to the middle. They've normally waited till he pushes them out in the middle. This time he didn't even have to do that.
He is one scary customer. He's just taking these pots.
This has been a tremendous tournament so far, and a lot of that credit goes to our host here at the Reno Hilton.
You know, it's been a truly great week for these players. I mean, they've had a great week of poker, but in addition, there's just so much you can do here in the Reno Tahoe area. I mean, seriously, you can ski, you can golf, you can mountain bike. It's amazing.
Do you do any of those things, Vince?
No, actually, I've been to the casino nonstop, but I could if I wanted to. And Shauna Hyatt is going to prove me right. Shauna.
The Reno Lake Tahoe area is known for its natural beauty and outdoor adventure. In poker-friendly Nevada, that makes Reno and the Reno Hilton one place that you can go to play and then go and play. Within an hour's drive of Reno, you can find nearly 40 golf courses and the greatest concentration of ski resorts in the world.
The Reno Tahoe area is the best. It's a lot of fun.
You can mountain bike in the morning and snowboard in the afternoon.
It's located right beside the Sierra Mountains, beside Lake Tahoe. It offers an abundance of outdoor activities as well as all the amenities that you would expect in a large casino hotel.
And when the sun goes down, the fun really begins. Not only does the Reno Hilton offer a wide range of casino games, they're also the hosts of a world-class poker tournament. The Reno Hilton and the World Poker Challenge, one place where you can find beauty and adventure both outside and in.
We're down to 4 players on the World Poker Tour. It's going to be on Ron Rose, the chip leader at this point. He's got Jack 7. There are two different suits in his hand. He's not going to play.
And Cal Dykes with 6-8 offsuit folds.
The X22 likes to mix it up constantly. He's got a crummy hand. Let's see how he plays it.
All in.
All in, he says.
Oh, man, all in by X22.
He's going all in. You got to be kidding me.
Now, Tony looks at an ace-8, and that's not a bad hand four-handed.
Ace-8 offsuit is not so great. If he calls and loses this pot, he's out of the tournament. On the other hand, it's X22 that's moved in on him, and Tony knows he's the biggest thief at the table.
No, you read the books, and they tell you hands to play. 7 deuce is not one of them.
Now, like Tony, he looked over there at X22,
Look, he's
and
going
then
to
he
call
called.
it. He's going to call him down.
He read him perfectly right here, Vince. What a nice call by Tony Lee right here.
This is a huge call for Tony Lee. He's picked up on something.
And right now,
X22 doesn't want to show his hand. He looks a little embarrassed, I bet.
Well, he's got his hand caught in the cookie jar one more time here, Vince.
Look at this. I pity the man. He doesn't want to show the cards.
He's not. He's counting out the chips. I'm afraid he thinks he's going to lose them, so he's counting out his chips right here.
I respect him, though, to make that kind of raise on that with a 7th deuce.
Go ahead and turn the cards over.
Well, that's what poker's all about, though. You make that kind of play.
All right, Tony now sees the 7 deuce and gives it the fist.
Clenches his hand. He loves the situation.
Yeah, he's very, very happy now that he made this call. That was a tough call to make with ace-8 offsuit for all your money.
Yeah, but he hasn't won yet. There is a flop coming up. Here we go with the flop. Let's see what happens.
The flop is...
Well, flop is king 5-3. No help for X22.
No, the ace-8 is in front at this point.
X22 has to have some help. Now there's an ace. Now this also gives X22 a straight draw. He must catch a 4 to win this pot.
Well, Tony's way out in front with a pair of aces.
Is a 4 here.
No 4! No 4!
He's got to catch a 4.
Can a miracle happen? No, it's not going to happen.
Do it. Tony very happy right now about the way he played this hand and in winning this pot.
Oh, that's going to cripple X22. Look at him.
He's going to have nightmares about raising these pots with 7 deuce.
That didn't work this time for Tony. He maybe saw through that. He makes a good call, picks up a huge pot, and this crowd loves this.
Plenty more action to come from Reno, Nevada, here on the World Poker Tour. Now back to the final table of the World Poker Challenge. Here with the call of the action is poker expert Mike Sexton and Hollywood home game ace Vince Van Patten. Guys?
At this stage, Vince, Ron Rose is still in commanding chip position with $560,000 in chips. Tony Lee has moved into second spot with about $155,000. Cal the Dennis Dykes has about $82,000. At the bottom of the totem pole right now is X22 with about $70,000 in chips.
Well, Mike, this has been fantastic action here today. We've seen it all here. Well, the action's going to be on Ron Rose, our chip leader. And this time he's got a 5-3 offsuit. Not going to play it.
Ron folds.
Cal Dykes, the dentist, has picked up 10-7 of diamonds.
Look at this, all in on a 10-7.
Okay, he's going to make a bluff here. Not a very strong hand. He's going all in. He's doing his usual all-in routine.
X22 has 6-7 offsuit he can't call.
Only one he's got to beat is Tony Lee, who's got an 8-jack of diamonds. What's he going to do?
Well, I don't know how you can call an all-in bet with a jack-8. And he doesn't.
He's going to take this pot. Now, this is amazing. This guy makes the same play every time, all in. He never has to show down a hand.
Well, they've got to be scratching their head wondering what this guy has. Nobody's seen one of his hands yet, Vince.
He is some player. He is taking it to these guys on the World Poker Tour. And it's going to be on him this time once again. He's got ace-4 this time, and this time he goes out. X22's got an ace-5. Now he's going to pick up where the dentist left off. He's going all in.
Quack, quack, +1.
It's quack, 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 +1. 67,000 he's betting. Well, he's now become the short stack in this tournament here.
And Tony Lee's got a queen 6 of hearts.
Well, I don't fault X22 for going all in here. He can pick up 16,000 in blinds and antes by winning this pot. He's not going to fold if somebody re-raises him, so you might as well go ahead and go all in. Put him to the test.
Now Ron Rose has got 2-3.
59,000 to call.
Look at him, he's kind of flashing his cards. That's usually a sign you're not going to play.
Well, he's not going to play. We know he's not.
Okay, well, X22 is going to take this pot.
Call. I can see you wanted to call.
Look at this.
It's a little bit better than that, right, Ron?
Now he's chirping it up here.
You got to love the fact that he's an action player at the table. He creates action, and nobody ever knows what he has.
You know, Mike, it is such a pleasure to watch TJ Cloutier and these other pros play. I mean, they're really great. But I have to say, I'm kind of surprised that some of the young up-and-coming players didn't make this final table.
Well, it's not for lack of trying, Vince. The young guns were here. The Phil Ivies, Alan Cunninghams, Daniel Negreanu's, Antonio Esfandaris. They were here. They just came up short.
It's true.
But these guys are the future of poker. And as Shauna Hyatt tells us, the future is almost here. Shauna?
The history of the American West is filled with images of young men making their mark on the world. Today, tournament poker has its own group of fearless young guns who are looking to write a little history for themselves. The aggressive brand of poker played by these young stars has literally changed the game. The old rules may become history themselves.
I've taken poker to the next level above even their books. It's a new breed of extremely aggressive play.
Who's going to double me up, baby?
The seasoned pros are very aware of this ultra-aggressive style.
They're strong medicine, though. These new kids, they're stronger than Nellie's breath.
But the old cowboys aren't ready to fold just yet, and they know what they have to do to stay in the game.
There's been a big influx of younger players who are quick-minded and bright and aggressive, and they've changed the game somewhat, and us older guys have had to adapt and become a little bit of them, so to speak.
These shiny young pistols may be giving the old shotguns a run for their money, but in this game, it doesn't matter who's quick on the draw. It's all about winning the chips.
It's so great to see these guys playing World Poker Tour events.
Okay, it's going to be on X22. He's got 9 queen. He's going to go out. Tony Lee's got 10-8 of hearts. It's kind of an interesting hand. Very controlled player, Tony Lee.
Look at Ron Rose studying him, though.
24,000.
Here he comes in for 24,000.
Nice solid raise with 10-8 of heart.
Now Ron Rose has picked up Queen Jack of diamonds.
He's going all in, Mike.
Whoa. You know, he was watching Tony there. I wonder if he picked up something because he's moved over the top with a Queen Jack here.
Okay, the dentist is going out. X22 is already out, so we got a two-way action. And Ron, of course, is up on his feet.
Well, I don't know how Tony can call this bet. It's for all his money here with a 10-8. But what a play right here by Ron Rose to come over the top of Tony Lee, who so far has been a very nice conservative player. What a play by Ron right here.
Very, very strong.
He's got his arms crossed.
Pops up, chews the gum.
And Tony
folds like we know he's going to
Yes,
with a
he
10-8
is.
there.
He's going to fold it. Another strong play by Ron Rose. He's going to take that pot.
Here's a man who's used to success. Ron Rose has been a captain in the Air Force, a stockbroker, and a CEO. And if that weren't enough, he decided to take on the card-playing world.
I started playing duplicate bridge my first year after retiring about 4 years ago. And I became a Life Master duplicate bridge player the very first year that I played. So that's quite an accomplishment in the bridge world.
Ron's also achieved a big accomplishment in poker by making it to another World Poker Tour final table at Foxwoods.
A lot of people say how good they are, but a lot of them don't know how to come in first. But that's where the money is, and I play for first place. I don't play for second. I'm all in.
But at Foxwoods, Ron hardly played at all. He got knocked out at the final table early and learned a lesson he'll never forget.
I would have bet you anything that Andy Block wouldn't have called me there with a pair of 10s with a queen high on the board. I was very shocked when he called, so I made a mistake on that one. But that's one of my few mistakes I've made.
Ron Rose is going to be our 6th place finisher.
I don't make them all the time.
Successful people don't often make the same mistake twice. Will Ron learn from his?
What I have to think about is the opponents, more or less, who I'm playing and what position I'm in, etc., before I make my bets.
Ron's been playing 4 or 5 years now, and he's done real well lately. I've learned to respect his play.
But with all his experience and confidence, Ron still knows his chances of winning.
My chances of winning today 1 in 6.
And the action just swings on. Tony Lee's got 3 queen. He's going to go out. This time Ron's going out with 95. Cal the dentist lining up with queen 7 of diamonds.
Oh, get the marching band out here. Cal finally called a bet.
Yes, he did.
Oh, can you believe this? He didn't move in. We can't say that he moves in every time if he plays a pot. Now, he tried to limp in on the small blind here.
All in.
But X22's not going to stand for it. He's going all in with 5 ace of diamonds.
Well, it's the first time he's seen Cal get out of step and not move all in right here.
Oh, and he slapped Cal's hands quickly.
Yes, he did.
Now, he's starting to make this little technique work, this all-in thing now. He's taking a few lessons from the dentist.
Well, give X22 credit there.
I do.
He sensed the guy trying to sneak in here, and X22 moved over the top of him for all his chips. Nice play right there by X22. Stay with us. We're coming back to the final table in just a minute.
World Poker Challenge, the last stop on the way to the WPT Championship. 4 players still continue to battle it out. A patient dentist, a shrewd businessman, a clever casino supervisor, and a backgammon player on Quack. Who will be the next to go?
Okay, it's going to be on X22. He's going out with 7-3. Tony's got a pair of jacks this time. Now, he's not going to be folding any of these kind of hands. Tony getting pushed around. He's been very good-natured about it the last few hands. But this time he's saying, no, you can't do that to me anymore. He's going to raise it.
Quickly gets out of his way with a 5-9. And Cal the dentist, he goes out with a 7-3. And Tony picks up another little pot.
He's going a nice little pot with a pair of jacks. Very impressive. That's what these guys have to be able to do. Read your opponent and be able to make bold moves. And here we go again. It's going to be on Tony. Now, Tony this time's got queen 10 of spades, Mike.
It's not a bad hand.
Well, it's pretty good four-handed, but he's going to go out.
He opts to fold it.
Now, Ron Rose has got a 10 queen. He's also not going to play.
I am in, sir.
I am in, sir. He moves all in for $66,000
with ace 5.
He's giving this guy a migraine headache here. Look.
At X22, he's got a horrible hand, just a 3-9.
60.
But it's just the relentless pounding that's giving him a headache here of the dentist just by continuing to move in on him. Remember, he started out today with $387,000 in chips, and he is now down to about $90,000. So he's going to try to get some chips to get back in this match where he was before. And now we're playing with a $2,000 ante, Vince, and the blinds are $6,000 and $12,000. This means there's $26,000 that every player has to put in every 4 hands of poker.
Action's on Ron Rose. He's got 9-5 offsuit. Not going to call. But look at this.
Well, the dentist picks up a nice hand here, ace-queen.
Look at him talking, chatting, because he's going to play this strong, of course. He's got ace-queen.
I am in again, sir.
And he's moving all in.
All in again.
And what else is new?
And amazingly, nobody has picked up a hand to contest him with here.
Well, X22's got a 10 queen. Now, that's a big hand for X22. You know, he plays anything. But, you know, it's the price is so expensive.
Well, he's only got 95,000 in chips. He just can't afford to call it.
Tony's got a 4-10.
He can't play that. One more time. This has got to be the world record, Vince, for playing this many hands, and nobody has ever seen one hand that you've had all day long.
Dr. Cal Dykes can fill a tooth easier than an inside straight. Cal may have been schooled in dentistry, but he's also well educated at the poker tables.
When I first moved to Vegas, I would play poker with them, and I might have worked on them during the day, and I'd be playing poker at the same table with them at night, and they wouldn't realize it was me. And I wouldn't tell them.
And if possible, Cal wouldn't let anyone know that he's a dentist.
Because then I have to hear about the root canal. So usually they call me doc, and then they'll ask what kind of a doctor am I? I'll tell them I'm a neurosurgeon, because nobody has a brain story. I did that to Paul yesterday.
So, depending on who you are, winning money at the poker table can be like pulling teeth.
That's easy. Pulling teeth.
We've seen him win these pots, but he's got to do this one hand out of every 4 just to stay even. He's on a treadmill, Vince. He's not gaining chips. He's not going anywhere. Yes, he's still in the match, but he's not gaining chips. He's not making progress toward the winner's circle. He's just staying alive.
Well, alive he is, and it's going to be on him again. Cal Dykes, a dentist from Las Vegas, picks up King 7 of spades. He's not going to call this time.
Cal folds.
Next 22 with 2 4s here.
He's got. Says all in.
Oh, man, he's going all in with a pair of 4s wired in his hand.
Well, I can't blame him for that.
X22's had a long day. He's been dragged through the mud today. He's a little frustrated. He's pushing with his pair of 4s. And Tony Lee's got an 8-10 of clubs. These guys seem to be getting a little fatigued, especially X22. He's saying, I'm going all in. I've had enough.
Now look at this. Ron Rose in the big blind has picked up ace-queen. He says, I'm calling.
Oh, man, he's going to do it.
Here we go. It's $83,000 to call.
Now, actually, X22 is going to be a slight favorite.
For Paul McGrill to stay in this tournament, he is going to have to win this pot. He's got the 2 4s. Ron has the ace-queen. Stay tuned. We'll be right back on the World Poker Tour for the exciting conclusion of this hand to see if X22 can stay alive.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We have seen X22, Paul McGrill, go all in with a pair of 4s, but called down by Ron Rose with ace-queen. We're going to see a flop. Mike, what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, so far, everything's gone Ron's way. See if he can get lucky again. Yes, he does.
Oh, Ron hit a big card. He's got his pair of queens so far.
He shoots his arm up. He knows he's a big favorite now. X22 is going to have to catch a 4, Vance, or he's going to be gone.
Well, it didn't happen on 4th Street. He's got one more shot to catch a miracle. Can he do it? No.
He does not do it. X22, very entertaining player, goes out in 4th position.
Oh, man, he finally catches a nice little hand of wired 4s. He is going to be our 4th place finisher.
And remember, Vince, he started today as the big chip leader with nearly half the chips in play.
That's right. I'm really sad to see X22 go. He's a great character, great for the poker world. But I'll tell you something, we're down to 3 players now. They're going at it.
Well, Vince, with this pot, Ron Rose has taken a commanding chip lead in this tournament. He now has nearly 700,000 in chips. Cal Dykes is sitting on about 100,000, and Tony Lee's on about 85,000.
Our next player out gets 50,000 plus.
And although everything has gone right for Ron so far today, we know in poker events anything can happen. A guy can double up a time or 2, and he'll take the chip lead. The other 2 guys are the Cinderellas here, and they could put the glass slipper on before the ball ends.
Well, here we go with the action 3-way. It's going to be on Tony. He's got 7, 8 offsuit. One mistake, you could be knocked out of this event.
He folds.
Ron's got King 4. What's Ron going to do? He's calling it.
He's limping in.
Ron calls 6,000 more.
The dentist has San Francisco, 49.
Cal checks from the big blind.
So we're going to see a flop. Here it is.
10-9 tray with 2 hearts.
Flop is 10-9-3.
Ron checks.
No help for Ron. He checks.
Cal bets 30,000.
Look at this. A little gear change by Cal the dentist.
Well, he made a bet that wasn't all in there for a change. With a second pair, he wins the pot.
Well, that's kind of interesting. He definitely is changing gears. And he realizes that's what he's got to do. You're down to 3-handed. You got to open up your game even a little bit more. Well, what's interesting is Ron doesn't have to gamble at this point. He's got so many chips. So it's not only how you play your hand, but it's also how you play your chip lead.
And right now he's going to be a hen sitting on those eggs, I can tell you. For them to get those chips back from him, they're going to really have to grind them out.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Now it's going to be on Ron first. He looks at a 7-3.
87, 100.
And he's going to fold the hand.
Ron has folded on the button.
Now the dentist has picked up 10, Queen of Clubs. It's a very strong hand, three-handed.
40,000.
Cal raises it.
He's going to raise it 40,000 more.
So he's bet 56,000 here.
40,000 more, so that's 52,000.
Right into Tony Lee, who has King 7.
Well, now remember, Tony Lee only has about 85,000 in chips. So even though this wasn't an all-in bet by Cal that we're used to seeing, it is essentially an all-in bet because if Tony moves in on him, he's going to call him.
He's not going to.
Tony passes.
He's going to take this pot again, Mike.
And still, remarkably, with 3 players left after all this play, not one player has seen a hand of his that's sitting at that table. We've seen him, but they haven't seen one hand yet.
He's the true shadow of the game. That's going to be on Cal the dentist again. He's got, this time, a very strong hand. He's got Jack King of Diamonds. He's going to raise it. Gosh, I love seeing these guys' cards.
Well, he's made it 50,000 to go here with the King Jack of Diamonds. Again, it's a situation that if Tony Lee goes all in, he'll be called for
He's
sure.
got 4 deuce. He can't call. He's going out.
50,000.
And Ron can't call with a 7-4. Look at this. Cal took another pot.
Notice he's stacking his chips up a little bit faster now, Vince. He's starting to get a little oomph in his step here. Down to retired businessman Ron Rose out of Dayton, Ohio, with a commanding chip lead right now. He's up against the dentist, Cal Dykes from Las Vegas, Nevada, and Tony Lee, the game supervisor right here at the Reno Hilton.
Well, the dentist is going to be first to act this time. And look at this, Mike. He's picked up a big hand. Ace-10 offsuit. He's going to raise.
It comes in for 50,000.
Tony Lee's also got a good hand. He's got a king-queen.
Yes, he does. Now, he's on the short stack with about 72,000. It's 50,000 to play this pot.
Yeah, he's got a decision. Now, three-handed, you can't wait all day. This is a pretty big hand, three-handed.
No, at some point, you're going to have to make a move and try to get some chips if you're going to try to overcome Ron Rose. He's calling.
Yes,
he calls 50,000.
Tony says call.
Now, Tony Lee only has 22,000 left here after this call. Now, look at Ron.
He's called the 50,000.
Ron Rose has got a pair of jacks in his hand. Look at him waiting.
What is he going to do? He goes all in.
Yes, he is. He's doing the right thing. All in. He's getting up from his seat.
He's going to try to take them both out at once. No, Cal gets out of the pot. He saves his last 80,000.
Tony's going to quickly call. We're going to see a showdown.
Tony shows king, queen offsuit.
This is king, queen versus 2 jacks.
Both players are up on their feet.
Well, it's a race situation we have here. The 2 jacks are a slight favorite against the king, queen. So far, Ron has not lost a big pot today.
And here comes the flop.
Boom. And he hits it. Oh, the queen for Tony Lee right here.
That is beautiful. The crowd's going crazy for him.
Yes, it is. He has outflopped Ron Rose.
But it's not over. Here comes 4th Street.
It's a 10 that gives
now a 10 comes off. Now Ron Rose is going to have to catch an 8 or a king. A jack won't do him any good anymore because that'll give Tony a straight.
Tony would love to double up here. This would be great. Let's see it.
8, 9, 10 jack.
Oh
no.
An 8 comes off. Ultimate heartbreak for Tony Lee on the river right there. Ron Rose has made a straight at the river to win this pot and knock Tony Lee out of this tournament.
Oh, talk about putting a sword through your stomach. Devastating last card for Tony Lee. Knocked out of this event. 3rd. What a gentleman. Big smile by this man.
I'm telling you, this guy impressed me today, Vince. He played terrific poker. Tony Lee was sensational today.
Look, he's waving to his friends and family in the audience.
Now we got a horse race. We'll be right back on the World Poker Tour.
All right, I'm going to be asking you a series of questions, and I'd like you to answer me very truthfully. Are you a woman?
Of course I'm a woman.
He's telling the truth. He really is a woman.
Good at bluffing? Play poker online at partypoker.com. It's fun, it's easy, it's the world's largest poker room.
So, what are you doing later?
Building a shed.
It's down to the wire here at the Reno Hilton. 2 players left, but only 1 title, and the last free entry into the WPT Championship.
The money.
Here comes the cash, the trophy, the security guards.
Oh, man. Looks
the
like
black briefcase. They get that out of the trunk of your car there, Vince?
Oh, it looks like someone just held up the sheriff.
Oh, man.
Reno, Nevada. Look at the big bucks there.
Hey, wonder if he's going to shake it all out, Vince.
Oh, man. And a nice trophy there to boot.
The cash is on the table. The 2 finalists are there. Ron Rose out of Dayton, Ohio, retired businessman, versus the dentist, Cal Dykes out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Here we go. Folks, we are down to our final 2 players. The blinds have gone up to 6 and 12,000 now.
Ron Rose with a 6 jack of diamonds. He's calling it.
Says call 6,000 more.
I'm in.
And look at this. Here comes the dentist.
Oh, yeah. He's going all in with ace 5. He's doing his usual play. Is it going to pay off? Going heads up. He's not going to play scared.
He started the hand.
Well, he understands that right now he's got to win some pots here. Otherwise, he's not going to win this tournament. So at some point, you got to start doubling up because Ron has a massive chip lead right now.
So he had a total of 68 to start.
That's going to work again. He took the first pot of the heads-up competition. Nice, solid bet.
The button moves to Cal.
Makes it look easy.
Well, right now, he better look at that long mile of chips that Ron has stacked next to him because he's got a big mountain to climb if he wants to win this tournament.
Ron is first to act.
Heads-up action. Here we go.
Now Ron looks down. First pot. And there's Ron mucking a 7 deuce on the button. Not going to give him any chips. No action. Going to make him grind it out to win this tournament. And Vince, let me tell you something. We are seeing a world record here today. The dentist, Cal Dykes, has never at one time today shown down 1 hand this entire tournament at the final table. Nobody's seen 1 hand that he's played sitting at that table.
How does one do that? You're absolutely right.
That's incredible. I mean, it's amazing. Nobody's seen any of his cards the entire day at this final table, and he's playing heads up for this title.
Here we go, heads up. They've been playing for 3 days. A lot at stake here. Last shot for Bellagio. Let's see the cards. Ron Rose has got a king-queen this time, Mike.
Yes, he does. He's just calling with his king-queen. I don't like this play.
Now the dentist, Cal Dykes, has 4 5 of hearts.
Well, I wouldn't give the dentist a free flop here like he's doing. Let's see what happens.
We're going to see the flop.
And look at this. Cal flopped a pair of 4s and moves in.
He has. He's got the little pair of 4s. He likes it. He's got to play this kind of way.
I like this play by Cal right here. And now he's put Ron Rose to the test.
Well, he'd just love to push Ron right out of this.
Well, now Ron Rose has a king-queen. Now what he's thinking is, you know, how big of an underdog is he if this guy's got a pair? Might Cal have a 3 and a 5 or a 5 and a 6 where he's just got a straight draw? Is the king-queen good? Is the guy bluffing at him?
Yeah, but this dentist doesn't play 3-5. He's got to respect him.
Well, Ron doesn't know what he plays because he hasn't seen him have a card yet. But
that's true. This is very interesting. Ron Rose doesn't have to take a shot here, doesn't have to call. He can wait another day. But actually, if he could make this call...
Well, he's thinking about gambling here where you just take the guy out of the tournament. Look at him. It is a critical decision for him here. Do you want to double a guy up? Give him confidence at this stage? You've got the chips you can afford to call him. The question is, do you want to gamble here?
Both men folding their arms next to each other, going after a big title here.
Well, the question is, does he want to take a gamble here for just 70,000 more to take a chance to end this tournament? That's what's going through his mind now.
You know, the kind of interesting thing is no one's ever seen Cal's cards. Maybe he just wants to see his cards with a call. I don't know, Ron's poker instinct has been correct all day.
Well, certainly every decision he's made today has been right. He's going for it, Vince.
He is.
Ron Rose is going for it. He has a king-queen.
Well, he's going to be a pretty big underdog, about 3-1, Mike.
Yes, he is. He's about a 75% underdog to win this pot, Vince.
Now, Cal would love to double up here.
This is a great chance for Cal to do it.
And here comes the 4th.
Oh, there it is.
That's a huge card. He's caught a big pair.
He's outdrawn him on 4th Street. It's not over, though.
No, it's not.
Cal can catch a 4 or a 5.
Here it comes, Mike.
Needs a 4 or a 5.
He doesn't do it.
He doesn't do it. It's over.
He shrugs. Ron Rose has won every big pot he played today. You talk about a rush, Vince. He had one today.
How does he make that call, and how does he hit that hand?
Well, when everything is going right, not one thing has gone wrong the whole entire day.
Talk about poker instinct.
Well, Ron has got to be a very happy camper here. He told me he wanted to redeem himself from his 6th place finish at the Foxwoods tournament, where he was not at all happy with his play.
This guy is our champion, and he's going to take home $168,000.
On behalf of the World Poker Tour, I'm Mike Sexton, and here's the Ron Rose, our champion of the Reno Hilton World Poker Challenge.
Thank you.